So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Just a quick video today. Obviously, match day tomorrow. Wolves away. Looking forward to it. Got a good feeling about this game. It's a game we should win. I think when you look at, I know Wolves have had an upturn in form, but if you look at recent form, current form, I know we lost our last game, but it was a good performance. You look at form, quality on the pitch, teams on paper, team sheets, quality available, manager availability, everything. It's a game we should win. But as a player who I think has got a good chance of playing tomorrow, who I think this is a game they need to grab by the scruff of the neck and perform in, it's that player that I'm going to discuss today. So the Lewis Miley video is in the works, will happen at some point, but today this is a video or to discuss rather, Anthony Elanga. £55 million signing, had a great season last season at Nottingham Forest. When you actually look at his numbers, not as impressive as it was made out. I think a lot of people thought, the way that he was being spoken about was like he got 20 goals and assists, or, he scored 15 league goals and got 12 league assists. It wasn't the case. However, good season, good performance. £55 million, a player that we chased, it felt like a signing that took forever and ever and ever. It felt like 2 months, but it might have been 3, 4, 5 weeks, maybe I would say 4 to 6 weeks, but it seemed to take forever. A player we eventually got over the line, £55 million. So much I was that positive about this signing. When we made the signing, it looked like it was between there was three in contention for that right wing position that we'd hadn't improved on for years and years and years. I mean, Miguel Almiron was bought as a number 10, ended up playing right wing, and he was bought in January 2019. The obviously takeover went through in October 2021. Now, the three players in contention for that right wing spot were Antoine Semenyo, less linked, but he was linked with Newcastle. The two main ones were Brian Mbeumo and Anthony Elanga. At the time, as it was all going on, I would have preferred Mbeumo because the goal scoring ability, he could play striker, could score goals, assist. Then I was thinking, if is AFCON and Elanga had a great season. When Elanga signed, I went the other way. I was like, you know what? I'm glad we've got Anthony Elanga. Get the raw pace, the crossing ability, he seemed quite two-footed. But since he's joined the club, and he joined in so the season started August. We're only in middle of January now, so he's got plenty of time. And I've no doubt he will come good. But he had that chance to score against Aston Villa on the opening day of the season. And since then, he's done very, very little. I can count on one hand the good performances. I can count on one hand the good events, occurrences, sequences of play. Barcelona in the Champions League, he put two good balls into the box from the right-hand side. Two very good low balls. One of which was for Anthony Gordon. One was for Harvey Barnes. Both of which should have been converted. Definitely the Anthony Gordon one, in my opinion. Then against Union, he had a bright performance, but he got man of the match. I don't think he was that good. A 7 out of 10. Then you look at his solitary assist, which was for Nick Voltemada against Everton, against an Everton that completely capitulated at home. Yeah, and that's it. He had a shot in that game against Everton, which was saved by Jordan Pickford, which led to the Malik Thiaw goal in the first minute. Now, Jordan Pickford will look back on that thinking how avoidable, because that shot from Anthony Elanga was going a country mile wide. Why Pickford felt the need to save it, I do not know. If you look back at the highlights, it is an atrocious finish. Abysmal. Now, bless him, Anthony Elanga, I think he's only started 11 games. 11 starts, I believe, or 10, might be 10 starts, but 11 starts. No more than 12. So he hasn't had that momentum. But every time he's played, and he's either started a game or he's been brought on off the bench, he looks devoid of confidence. He looks terrified to take a chance. And but it's not just the confidence. And a lot of people are making excuses for him, and I feel for him. I want Anthony Elanga to succeed, chiefly because if he succeeds on the pitch, that means that Newcastle United are doing well. But secondly, we've spent 55 million on him. I want this signing to work out. We want him to do well. We want to see him succeed. I want to see him bag goals, assists. And he seems like a nice guy. You want him to do well. He's a Newcastle United player. Every player he puts on the black and white shirt, I want to succeed and do well. Now, a lot of people are making excuses for him from a tactical point of view, saying that, he's used to Nottingham Forest, totally different style of play. They're very much counter-attacking football and the like. Now, I take issue with this for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the mistakes we're seeing from Anthony Elanga, in my view, have got nothing to do with tactics, style of play, philosophy, whatever the hell that means. It's football basics. It's excuse me, first touch, dribbling the ball out of play into touch. Oh, fucking hell! How many times has he done that this season? 5 or 6 times. It's looking so hesitant to take a shot. It's taking that touch and panicking and then taking the wrong option. It's a lack of technique, technical ability, and decision making at the minute for Elanga. Now, if we're going to say it's just down to tactics, down to the style of play of the manager doesn't suit the player. Now, that is a sort of argument that you could lay at the door of Nick Voltemada. Undoubted technical ability, undoubted talent, ability, presence, know-how, technique, style, everything. But he's a bit of a square peg in a round hole at the moment, isn't he? But Anthony Elanga, it's you cannot blame tactics when the ball is given to you as a pass and your first touch is laying it off for the opposition every time. You cannot blame the tactics when you're dribbling the ball out of play. You cannot blame the tactics when your passes are wayward or when your decision making is wrong. However, I will say this for him: there is no lack of effort. He's grafting, he's running around, he's showing willing. He just looks so devoid of confidence. Now, how do we fix that? I've heard people say, if he scored that chance against Aston Villa on day one, it would all be different. I don't buy into that because he was a blank canvas. That there was no data on Anthony Elanga as a Newcastle United player. In fact, I think he scored in pre-season. Did he not? Against Arsenal, I think it was very much a deflected shot, but I think he scored. There was no data on Anthony. Excuse me, Anthony Elanga. It's not like this was the moment that could change his Newcastle United career. There was nothing to change. He was starting from ground zero. Now, I don't know what the answer is, to be honest. I think we've got plenty of away games coming up. I think playing him in away games is going to be the answer because the travelling fans more sympathetic. So that is my reason why I think he will start against Wolves. I hope he starts against Wolves. We shall see. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.